where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll for another amazing afternoon of racing action. We are live from the Lady in Black. It's Darlington Raceway here this evening for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia and all of our other amazing sponsors as we get ready here for the final points race of the regular season playoffs starting next Wednesday for these NASCAR Cup drivers. So this is a last-ditch effort for some of these competitors to try to earn themselves a spot in our playoffs, and a little bit of an opportunity here for some other drivers to maybe earn those extra points, not only for the regular season championship points that are on the line, but also the extra points that you can earn throughout this race. Stage wins, maybe winning that race, earning yourself those extra playoff points to go towards your every single round of these playoffs. You want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. You want to make sure that you can try to punch your ticket through each and every round, and those playoff points can come back to help you out quite a bit. We've seen drivers, unfortunately, lose out on a transfer position into the next round of the playoffs by a single point, so you gotta make sure you have as many points as possible. And when you run racetracks like Talladega, Daytona, everything else, you never know what can happen when something can strike, something can go wrong, and you may have to fall back onto those stage points and extra points for the wins and everything else to help you guide yourself through the playoffs here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. As these drivers get ready to rock and roll, we see them out there on the racetrack for their qualifying effort. Each and every driver is going to jump out there, going to lay down some quick lap times, see if they can put themselves towards the front of the field. As we saw Greg Goberry out there, he currently slots in as the fourth quickest driver here in qualifying. Willie McKellar in second is now with the quick time here in qualifying. It's Christopher DeWald. DeWald in the Liberty University Camaro is going to jump into the top spot here. The quick time here on the afternoon for the 82 as he's looking to try to start in that pole position. Cliff Adams going to jump up into second. McKellar going to jump back out there. Isaac Mock jumps up into position number 4 with Ira Golis in that Austin Dillon number 3 machine out there on the Speedway, currently up inside the top 5. Brandon Iscain? I'm probably getting that totally wrong. Kian? Brandon, I apologize, brother. I'm probably absolutely murdering your last name. I'm trying to get it right. I'm going to get it wrong a million times more. I do apologize. As Brandon in that 25 ride. Rolling out there on the Speedway, we see John Fowler in his complete graphic Scary Strokes number 94. He's out there on the Speedway, as well as James Smith and Christian Delgado jumping out onto the Motor Speedway here. Doug Roth in his STP Scary Strokes number 43 machine. He jumps out there onto the Speedway looking for a big run as Brandon Honeycutt also back in attendance here this evening, as well as Honeycutt there in the 13. He is currently in the outside of the top 10 looking in here. Going to see this qualifying lap time go up on the board, see if he can work himself inside the top 10 as John Fowler jumps up into the 8th position as Craig Michael Deacon. Craig coming in showing the love with the like on the stream, coming in with that heart reaction How are you, Greg? How you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as racing here on Peacemaker Gaming getting ready to fire back up here as Andrew says, I'm awful at Darlington and don't like this track. So tonight, most likely, I'm gonna take the green flag to remain playoff eligible and then park it. Listen, brother, Andrew, hey, you know what? Sometimes that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. As John McNeil says, let's go Victory Motorsports in Red Sea Racing, cheering on him and his teammates out there on the Speedway as they look to have a heck of a run and a heck of a performance here on the night. As Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear coming in showing the love as well with the like on the stream. How are you, Bryce? Bryce coming in showing the big love as John Fowler slides back to the 10th position. We did see Brandon Honeycutt jump inside the top 12 here on the time sheet, but still on the outside looking in. Christian Delgado gonna jump up into 8th as Doug Roth jumps into the 6th position. Leroy Koblenz in the Sim Motion number 45 ride will jump into position number 2, but still out there on the Speedway, Christopher DeWald with the quick time here in this qualifying session. Still have Russell Martin Jr., John Ross, Bryce Dickinson, Johnny Barker, and Andrew Hainsley. Dwayne Simons still left to qualify here as Simons not out there on the racetrack. Barker also not out there for this qualifying session, so we'll have to see if they elect to try to start at the rear of the field and try to work themselves up and towards the front as these drivers will get ready to rock and roll. Qualifying coming to a close, and that means Christopher DeWald with the quick time here in qualifying will start in that pole position. A heck of a run and a heck of a drive for that number 82 machine. Let's see if we can pull Christopher up here into the broadcast booth. Our pole sitter looking very good. Let's see if we get him in here. He is in the Discord, so that's a good start. He's in the Discord. That is a good start for us, so we can try to pull him in. Let's see if we can get DeWald up here into the booth. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, I do.
Chris, man, a quick time here in qualifying puts you into this pole position here at Darlington Raceway, man. Take us through that lap, how you were able to get that quick time, and how you feeling heading into this long, long race at the Lady in Black.
That's going to be a long race. I just reached out to some people that were better in the spring than I was. Got some tips and was able to put a good lap in. So it was, I'll take it, first pole of the year.
Absolutely no better time than now is being able to try to get that pole, trying to earn yourself all the extra points in the regular season championship hunt, but also trying to, finish off the regular season on a good note. Try to have yourself a wonderful day here at the Speedway and being able to start at the front of the field, having that track position, starting off on the right foot to try to build some momentum here before our NASCAR playoffs start next Wednesday.
Sir, appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Good luck out there. Have fun, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of the night.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Christopher DeWald as he will be our pole sitter. He will start here at the front of the field as we'll get ready to stack him up, rack him up, and get ready to go green flag racing as that Liberty University Exalta 82 of Christopher DeWald there in the top spot. To his outside in the Sim Motion number 42, it's Leroy Koblenz, and then we see the number 98 ride. That is Cliff Adams starting there in third. To his outside, it's Brandon Ishkanian there in position number 4. Starting in the 5th spot in the 75 front, it's the Fallout New Vegas ride. That is William McKellar. And to his outside in the 43 STP ride, that is Doug Roth. Starting in position number 7 in the 47 is the Toyota ride of Isaac Mock. Into his outside will be the number 13 ride, another Sim Motion machine. That is Christian Delgado. Starting in position number 9 on the inside of row number 5, it's Ira Colas there in position number 9, and has John Fowler in the complete graphics. Scary Strokes number 94 there, rounding out our top 10. Starting in the 11th position, it is the Liberty University 71 of Greg O'Berry. To his outside, it is the 13 ride of Brandon Honeycutt. Starting in 13th is the 10 ride, the Old Bay Dirty Monkey Motorsports Toyota of James Smith. To his outside will be the 12 ride. That is Dwayne Simons. And then we see Johnny Barker in the Wolfpack Racing number 5 ride, and then Russell Martin Jr., the NOS Energy 20 machine, the 84 of Bryce Dickinson, and is happy to be here. E&D Farm Spot Mike Promotions, number 84, bringing up the rear of the field is the 29, the Sonic Graphic Designs ride of Andrew Hainsley. 18 drivers ready to rock and roll as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as the green flag quickly out in the air for Christopher DeWald, and we are battling here at the Lady in Black Darlington Speedway for 130 laps of racing action. DeWald at the front, Leroy Koblenz there in second as Brandon Ian. I'm probably going to get that completely wrong every single time. If anyone knows how to break down Brandon's last name to give us the way to say it, please make sure you jump into the chat and let us know, as I have a feeling we're going to be saying his name quite a bit this evening as Cliff Adams jumps up into third here. Christopher DeWald does lead lap number 1, so the 82 out in front of the field will take us down the very beautiful Boeing back straightaway here. It's called the Boeing back straightaway because it's wide enough. You could park a Boeing 747 back there on the back straightaway. A very, very wide racetrack, but really you only have about the top 3 or top 2 lanes on the speedway that you really run, especially up here in the banking. As you can see, that banking as they head down into the corner carry a lot of momentum. Got to stay off that wall, and as this race progresses, the tires start to fall off more and more and more. We're going to see drivers get closer and closer to that outside fence, and we're going to see this all evening long. Cliff Adams, look out! Cliff Adams going to go around. Heavy contact right there for John Fowler. The Eagle 198 ride goes for a loop-de-loop. No caution flag as of yet. We stay clean and green here, but heavy damage, heavy contact there for the 98 ride of Cliff Adams. Let's see if we can play this one back and take a look. He gets loose out of corner number 2. We're going to see this quite often here. Out of 2, gets loose. The rear end kind of just snaps on, goes down the racetrack, and then slides down the back straightaway. He's trying to correct it. The car just unfortunately snaps up the speedway. Heavy contact here for the 47 and the outside fence as well. You see John Fowler slam in there. Heavy left front damage for the 94 ride as he gets up into the outside fence. Good piece of driving by everybody else to avoid the 98 and avoid the 94 ride up in the wall. Unfortunately for John Fowler, that is going to hurt his odds here on the evening. See him rolling still down on the inside of the racetrack. That left front is absolutely locked up, not even turning out there on the racetrack. The right front still turning, still rolling, which is good to see, but that left front is going to need a ton of work. And oh, now he hits the safer barrier here. Oh no, things are going from bad to even worse for John Fowler as he's trying to get this ride down into pit lane. Oh man, this is a tough one. Let's see if we can get another look at this as John's just going to try to get it down pit road. Unfortunately, comes in with a little bit too much speed, and as he does, bam, straight into those safer barriers on pit entry. And we talked about how the right front was kind of A-okay. The right front was kind of decent. It's now completely shredded apart as well. So both sides of that 94 ride going to need some attention. They're going to need to go to work on that to try to figure out what it needs to keep him out there on the speedways. Out in front by quite a distance now. 2.4 seconds between Christopher DeWald and our second place drivers. DeWald looking to be the reflection of perfection here on the evening. The 82 at the front of the field. McKellar back there in position number 2. He is over 2 seconds back, but trying to hunt down our race leader. See Doug Roth right there in third. Christian Delgado up into position number 4 and looking for more. Leroy Koblenz there in the 5th position, sliding back 3 spots early in this race, and now under attack from the 25 as Brandon Ian trying to work himself back up towards the top 5 here. He's going to make that pass on the 42 for himself back into the 5th position, but here comes a big run from Greg O'Berry. O'Berry started back in position number 11, already up 5 spots on the evening, and he's looking to work himself inside the top 5 as he hunts down that 25 machine of Brandon Ishkanian there in the 25 ride. Leroy Koblenz slides back to 7th here as he continues to slide backwards as the 47 right now. Isaac Mock, luckily enough, even with that little bit of contact, that little bit of damage that he got with the outside fence there, it could have been a whole lot worse as he saw that 98 ride spin out right in front of him and could have took him out, but he keeps the TWRS machine pointing in the right direction in one piece and still rolling up here inside the top 10, rolling in the 8th position as Ira Cole is there in 9th, and we see the number 5 rider Johnny Barker back here in position number 10. Bryce Dickinson up 6 positions already in this race as the E&D Farms number 84 ride rolling there in the 11th position as Brandon Honeycutt, James Smith, Russell Martin Jr., and Dwayne Simons rounding out our top 15. Andrew Ainsley, Cliff Adams, John Fowler all off the speedway and parked down pit side. A heartbreaker for all of those competitors as out in front, Christopher DeWalt continued to just kind of keep that lead and keep himself out of trouble. Cody DeForge says, dang, Fowler, dang is right. There's a tough break right there for Mr. Fowler. As Ty Dickinson says, was coming to race last minute. The update took too long. Sitting this one out. Ty, brother, no. Can't make those mistakes. As my boy Craig Michael Deegan says, I'm good, bro. Everyone follow, like, share. Best broadcast in the bizzo. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Craig. I love it. I love to see that. Love to hear that, brother. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, definitely hit that like, hit that share, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube. As my boy Cody DeForge coming in with that like on the stream. Mama Bear coming in with the heart reaction. And Ty Dickinson with that heart reaction as well. Mama Bear says, let's go, Bryce Dickinson. Cheering on Brycey Bear out there on the speedway. Is yeah, definitely got to cheer on Brycey Bear here this evening as he's working himself through the field. Had a good run going last week. Did not get the finish he was hoping for. See if he can kind of rebound and try to get that 84 ride up inside the top 5 here this week at Darlington Raceway, which is a very, very tough track, very technical track. We're going to see tire fall off play a pretty good factor in this race. Now, I'm not sure exactly when these tires are going to start to fall off or come back alive or anything else, and when we may have to see these drivers, you know, come down pit side for green flag pit stops as they're already clicking the laps off in a quick hurry here. Lap 14 up onto the board, and it is that number 82 at the front of the field. Doug Roth now up into second as he's made the move around William McKellar. So McKellar back here into third. Christian Delgado right there within striking distance as he's trying to reel both of those drivers in. Grango Berry up inside the top 5 now as he's made himself away around Brandon Ishkanian as he rolls in that 25 ride in the 6th position. Leroy Koblenz back there in 7th. Isaac Mock there in 8th, and then we see Ira Golis and Johnny Barker rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Johnny Barker, one of the newcomers here into the series, won some laps here at Darlington, so good to see Johnny out there on the speedway. We also see Dwayne Simons out there as well as Simons in the Premier Racing Setups. Lennox and number 12 machine out here on the speedway. Looking good out there. That car's looking fresh, looking furious. The Premier Racing Setups ride looking pretty good out there, but I feel like both of those drivers kind of playing it a little bit easy here. They both didn't qualify throughout the start of this race, looking to just try to take things a little bit easy, not really get into any of these drivers' way, knowing that it's a last-ditch effort for some of these competitors to try to work themselves into the playoffs here, as playoffs getting underway next week as the regular season points championship ends here tonight. So one driver will earn themselves that points championship and extra bonus points to go towards our playoffs. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that follow and subscribe button. As John McNeil over on Facebook now as well, hitting that heart reaction and says, let's go DeWalt, as DeWalt out in front here. Leading the way, man. He's putting on a show. I'm not going to lie. I think right now at this point, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, really major mistakes down pit road or anything else, this could be his race to lose here on the evening. But, I mean, when you look back through the field, you look at some of these drivers that are already working themselves up through the pack. You know, Doug Roth, he's up 4 spots on the speedway. McKellar there in 3rd. He's up 2 spots. Christian Delgado already up 4 positions as well on the speedway. And then you look back at Grant Gobert, who rolls in the 5th position. He's up 6 positions, started back at 11th, up inside the top 5 here rather quickly on the speedway. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, drivers that kind of push a little bit early, drivers that are trying to move themselves up through the field, how long their tires can last, how long they can stay out there on the speedway before, maybe having to make some of these tough calls to come down pit road. When you got to really start making these decisions on, who's going to be first, who's going to be last to come down pit side, we never know when we're going to see an issue up there on the speedway. Can get trapped a lap down if you come down pit side too early, if you try to take a big swing at things and maybe make an early pit stop or save it a little bit longer, make a late pit stop. It could work in your favor, it could hurt you. So it's going to be a wild evening of racing action here all night long as DeWald continues to lead the way. Over 2 seconds here between himself and Doug Roth. Roth has been able to close that gap ever so slightly as the Scary Strokes STP machine rolls there in position number 2, trying to track down our race leader as Christopher DeWald just kind of minding the gap here, really not letting them catch up too quickly, not really falling back to where they can kind of get a draft off his back bumper and reel him in a little bit easier. So we kind of just playing with him here, having that gap and just knowing that he can try to just manage that distance and keep these drivers back there at bay all the way to what could be a big win for the 82 ride as McKellar rolls there in third, Christian Delgado back there in the fourth spot. Then we see about a 1.5 second gap back to Grango Berry as DeWald looking to go for the move here for position number 2 around McKellar. McKellar up on the high side, DeWald down low as they go door to door down the front straightaway. The big run on the outside lane for the 75 ride will keep William McKellar there in third as DeWald will fall back in line here. He's going to have to try to build up some momentum, try to build up that speed here once again and try to attack the 75 ride, see if he can find another big run to make a move like he just tried down there in the bottom of corner number 3 and 4. As DeWald sees these guys battling back here, he's loving every second of it as he's trying to open up that lead once again. Doug Roth trying to hold on to position number 2, and as they race back here for the second spot, every little bit of drag that goes on the front nose of the 43 or the 75 ride, as we do see McKellar actually making the move back around Doug Roth. So Roth going back to third in the 75 ride. There into second as now you see the 43 slides back to fourth here. Christian Delgado able to work himself around that 43 ride as well. So Doug Roth starting to slide backwards at a quick hurries. Here comes Grango Berry. We just talked about Berry, who's about a 1.5 seconds back of that 13 ride, and then all of a sudden he's right here within striking distance. Everyone else running a slow lap time. Last time around we see 30 35s, 30 59s, and a 31-second lap for Doug Roth, where Grango Berry was still running in the 29-second bracket, and he's going to use all that speed and momentum to put himself up into position number 4 and looking for more as he's one of the only drivers here running in that 29-second area. We do see Brandon Honeycutt running in the 29-second spots as well. So some of these drivers that were playing a little bit smarter early on in this race, starting to find that extra little bit of gear and starting to run down some more of our lead pack drivers here and starting to make those moves. You see the 47 ride, Isaac Mock getting very loose. He's going to make the hard left-hand turn down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and he's going to take that car right down pit side here. So a tough break there for Isaac Mock as he's going to leave the racing surface and take that car back behind pit wall. So that's a tough break out there for the 47 machine as Cody Ford says, let's go, Doug Roth. Cheered on Mr. Roth out there on the speedway. Papa Mike, Michael Dickinson coming in with the heart reaction as well. How are you, Papa Mike? Papa Mike coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction here on the evening as well. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button over on the YouTube channel as we are currently We're only 13 subscribers away from hitting that 1,000 subscriber marker over on YouTube, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane that we're so close to finding, to hitting that 1,000 marker over there on YouTube. And we're so close to it over on Twitch as well. We're currently 15 followers from 1,000 followers over on Twitch as well. So a lot of big milestones in the works here for us at Piece of Maker Gaming, and it's all due to you amazing fans in the stands coming in week after week after week, showing the love, showing the support for all your fellow drivers and competitors out there on the speedway, hitting the like button on each broadcast and dropping the comments, keeping the chat rolling and drawing in more and more of a crowd each and every single race. And that puts us only So close to, almost hitting 5K followers over on Facebook, working on 1K on YouTube and Twitch is absolutely insane. As Space Sloth X says, let's go to Wald and O'Barry, cheering on the Liberty University rides out there on the Speedway. As Lori Tucker says, show them how it's done, Ira. Show them how it's done, as Ira Cole is currently rolling in the 9th position on the Speedway right now in that 3 machine. The Hunting Sail the Bass Pro Shops ride. They're in the 9th position. Has Brandon Honeycutt catching up to her in a quick hurry here, as Ira trying to hang on to 9th, but may have some competition to her back bumper in a quick hurry, as the 13 of Brandon Honeycutt right there ready to bounce, ready to try to make that move and put himself up into that 9th position and slide the 3 ride back to position number 10. We're going to see that pass down the front straightaway. Looks like the 3 ride, realizing that the 13 was pushing a little bit more, had a lot more pace out of his car here later in this run, kind of pulled over, let him go by, and not going side by side through the middle of the corner is always a good idea, always a safe way to get things done and not put yourself into a bad position on the Speedway. As out in front, Christopher DeWald continuing to lead the way, but his gap is starting to shrink. Here comes Christian Delgado, about a 1.1 second difference between first and second now, as the 13 ride has cut the lead down in about half here. So DeWald may have some competition rolling into his back bumper here very shortly for this race lead, as so far it's been nothing but Christopher DeWald at the front of the field. He's been the reflection of perfection since the drop of the green flag, and he's hoping to keep it that way with the 13 of Christian Delgado looking to try to hunt him down, as Christian Delgado rolling there in second, as William McKellar back there in third, Greg O'Barry back in position number 4 and looking for more. Leroy Koblenz there in 5th, as Brandon Ishkanian there in position number 6, and then we see Doug Roth, Johnny Barker, Brandon Honeycutt, Ira Colas, James Smith, Russell Martin Jr., Bryce Dickinson, Dwayne Simons, Isaac Mock, Andrew Hainsley, Cliff Adams, Sean Fowler, and John Ross bringing up the rear of the field here in this one. Unfortunate contact early in the race, taking John Fowler down pit side for an extended period of time, and Cliff Adams headed down there as well. Then we saw Andrew Hainsley pull off, as he says this is not one of his favorite racetracks. He wants to try to take it easy, get this car off the Speedway, and just stay playoff eligible, knowing that he's locked into the playoffs, not risking his biscuit here this evening, and making sure that car stays in one piece and in together for next week's first playoff race of the series. So a good call, good safe run there for the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley. Then we saw the 47 Isaac Monk was running up inside the top 10, then pulled over, took his car down pit side and off the Speedway there. I'm not sure what was going on with that 47 ride, as we see a battle at the front of the field. Here comes Christian Delgado. Christian Delgado working to the outside now of Christopher DeWald. DeWald and Delgado door to door down into corner number 1. Some contact with the outside wall. They scrub doors ever so slightly, but that outside lane, you'll see the 13 put the hammer down, but gets into the fence again. You gotta be careful with that. Too many times bouncing it off that outside wall. It's easy to break a toe leg, easy to break something in the right front of these race cars, and it's getting up into that outside fence is never going to help you out on the Speedway. It's going to kill a lot of your momentum, and it could damage your car heavily enough where you may have to come down pit side and get some repairs done, and that could potentially take you out of contention of this evening's feature event. So you see the 82 just roll the inside lane, allowing the 13 to try to push the subject on the outside. Is here comes Christian Delgado once again, looking for another big run, trying to mount another challenge. If he can time it right, maybe he can get that inside lane away from the 82, put him to the outside, but it looks like they're going to go nose to tail down the front straightaway. May see that 13 try to roll the center of the corner a little bit better than the 82 ride. Look for that big drive off to see if he can put himself down to the inside, as the outside definitely a tough place to be to try to make a pass if you're that 13 ride of Christian Delgado. Delgado. We already saw him get up into the outside fence a couple times. He'll try it down low here, sends it in deep into corner number 3 and 4. Looking for that big run. The 82 ride can't get the drive off that he was looking for, and we're going to get a new race leader here at Darlington Raceway. It is the 13 rider Christian Delgado now to the point here. Delgado leads the way, and it is the number 13 out in front, the Sim Motion. Number 13 rider Christian Delgado taking that race lead away from Christopher DeWall. DeWall going to slide back to position number 2 here on the Speedway. As see a big gaggle of cars back there behind these guys. As here comes William McKellar, Grango Berry, the 42 Leroy Koblenz, in that 25 rider Brandon Ishkanian there in that 6th position. Johnny Barker back there in position number 7 with Brandon Honeycutt, Doug Roth, and Russell Martin Jr. rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Ira Cole is coming down pit side, so possibly the start of some green flag pit stops. Is the 3 machine going to try to pit a little bit earlier than everybody else here? Maybe a bold strategy, maybe something that works in the favor of the 3 machine on the longer run, but right now that's a dangerous game to play, as if a caution flag is to fly. The 3 ride currently now is the first car 1 lap down on the Speedway. So hoping to stay in that position, in that free pass spot here on the racetrack, and hoping that this kind of cycles through. The new tires, the faster lap times can leapfrog you in front of a ton of other competitors once they come down pit road, as we do see Bryce Dickinson, the E&D Farms, Papa Mike Promotions number 84 ride. He's going to head down pit side this time. So the E&D Farms, the farm full of misfits ride, going to head down pit road here himself, looking for a good stop here. Going to pull into his box. The crew's going to go to work, trying to get this car fixed up and back it onto the Speedway here. As now we see Doug Roth. He's going to make that hard left-hand turn. He'll head down pit side as Christian Delgado continues to lead the way, and quickly opening up a lead between himself and Christopher DeWall. DeWall now already back almost 2 seconds between himself and that 13 machine, as McKellar back there in 3rd, Grango Berry in 4th, Leroy Koblenz, Brandon Ishkanian there in the number 25 riders. We see the 42 Leroy Koblenz get up into the outside fence. Some contact there between him and the 25 ride. Bounces it off the wall a couple times, and that is going to slide him back now into 6th position. He's actually going to lose that 6th spot as the 13 rider Brandon Honeycutt is going to roll around him. We'll see Christopher DeWald sliding backwards here as well. So one of those drivers that were fast early in the race starting to fall off here. There you go, the 42 ride going to head down pit side, going to get some fresh slicks onto that car, a full tank of gas, and maybe some sheet metal pulled out and away from the fenders there after a couple hard hits into the outside wall. As Delgado leads the way at the front of the field, looking to continue to stretch this lead out more and more and more. Zach Lockett, Mr. Lockett, locked in Lockett coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream here in this one. Cody DeForce says, is this your full-time gig? To a point, Cody. It's the full-time gig. We do some side work here and there for some buddies here and there, and everything else. But for the most part, this is our full-time gig for the most of our days. This is what we do, and we love it. We couldn't thank the viewers and everyone else enough, and all the supporters and stuff here on Peacemaker Gaming enough for being able to have that ability to kind of use some of the savings that I have and everything else to take time off and focus more on the broadcasting side of things. And let's continue to grow more and more and more. Hopefully we can try to get us up there, a little farther, maybe get some bigger deals, some bigger brand deals, and who knows what else, and it's around the corner for us to really solidify us as a full-time content creator, a full-time iRacing broadcaster. But no matter what, hopefully one day we can make it big. Hopefully one day we can make it big. As Michael Scott Spencer says, you need to be on NRN Radio. Laugh out loud. Woo! Baby! I would love to. Trust me, I'd love to. If anyone has connections at MRN Radio, or you guys want us to get in on the action there, make sure you guys tag them in the stream, tag them in some of the posts, get them in here so that they can see the talent that we have here up in the broadcast booth and on the microphone, and see if we can try to reach those guys and see if we can try to pull in some more viewers or anything else to try to get us some of those contracts, some of that work, and some of the open doors to be a part of some cool things like that, like RCRM radio, or being able to jump in for NASCAR races, or being able to maybe be the voice for some of the e-NASCAR races and everything else. You never know what's around the corner or who's watching or anything else that could open a door for us to be able to propel our our talents and propel my career even farther into the stratosphere and to reach more and more people and everything else. So you never know. It's all down to who's watching everything else. You never know what could happen here. As out in front, it's the 13 of Christian Delgado who leads the way. Right there behind him, it's his teammate in the 42. That is Leroy Koblenz. Unfortunately for Koblenz, he's a lap down as he has made that green flag pit stop. He's came down, got some work done to that 42 line. We'll see Christopher DeWald coming down pit side as well. DeWald was falling back in a quick hurry here. He was back into about the 12th position and making a pit stop here, I do believe, for the second time. So I'm not sure if he has gotten a pit road penalty or if maybe making a mistake down pit side or something may have cost him. We talked about this early in the race when he had a big lead and looked to be the car to beat here this evening. We said he couldn't make a mistake, especially down pit road, and it looks like he may have made one as he's going to come in for another pit stop here. And looks like their crew is going to go to work on this number 82 ride. Doesn't look like he's getting jacked up, so possibly forgetting to put fuel in the car or maybe serving a penalty there on the speedway down pit road. So I'm not sure what the issue is with the 82, but he is down in his pit lane, and he is falling farther and farther behind and losing laps out there on the speedway every single second that he rolls out there in his pit stall. As right now, Christian Delgado staying out in front, has not come down pit road yet, still rolling some pretty good lap times here. He's giving up some time to those drivers that have already came down pit side, but maybe trying to save an extra set of tires down behind pit wall, maybe trying to keep this car, just rolling up the front of the field, looking for a lucky break, maybe get that, caution flag and trap some of these other drivers a lap down. Back there behind him is Johnny Barker, rolls there in position number 2. He's about 3.5 seconds back of our race leader. Brandon Ishkin Ian, they're in position number 3 with Brandon Honeycutt, William McKellar, our top 5 here on the speedway. Greg O'Berry back in 6 with Russell Martin Jr., Dwayne Simons, James Smith, and Ira Colas, our top 10 here on the speedway. Is Ira currently the first car 1 lap down here on the racetrack, as James Smith is the last driver on the lead lap here. So Colas looking for potentially this green flag pit stops to cycle through, see where that puts that 3 ride potentially towards the front of the field, and then if a caution flag flies, it could trap a lot of drivers back there a lap down and potentially put Ira into that free pass the lucky dog position to get that wave around and back onto the lead lap. It's Doug Roth in the 11th position here for the Scary Strokes SDP number 43 ride. Bryce Dickinson in the END Farms number 84 rolls there in the 12th position. Leroy Koblenz scored in the 13th spot as Christopher DeWald still down pit side here. So I'm not sure what is winner's straw here for the 82, but an extended period of time down pit road, and I do believe this amount of time he is going to be pretty much out of this race and out of an opportunity to try to pick up a checkered flag here. So a heartbreaker there for the 82 as Christian Delgado continues to lead the way here at Darlington Raceway, as these drivers clicking off these laps in a quick hurry, clicking them off in a very fast order here. We're almost halfway through this race already. He's down in through quarter number 3 and out at corner number 4. They're going to head down the front straightaway here at Darlington Raceway. They're going to click off lap number 55. Lap number 56 up onto the board as we're almost there to our halfway marker here on the evening. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session right there, giving us a great look in the sights and sounds around Darlington Raceway here as the Lady in Black, the home of the Slingshot Sim Racing League, here presented by the Race City Racing Memorabilia. In 2024, our inaugural season here, our regular season about to come to a close. This is the last points race of the season here for the regular season. Playoffs start next week, so drivers trying to punch their ticket, trying to earn themselves a ride in our NASCAR playoffs here next Wednesday, as everyone out there on the Speedway doing a fantastic job, giving us a good look at the Speedways. Right there, you see that 84 rider, Bryce Dickinson, rolling about the 11th position. It's out in front, it's Brandon Honeycutt. Honeycutt leads the way here in the 13 ride. Dwayne Simons in position number 2 on the Speedway. Doug Roth rolling there in third with Ira Colas in position number 4. But there you go. You see the 13 ride of Christian Delgado going to work around that number 3 machine. Now we saw some drivers come down pit side fairly early here on the evening. Some drivers down pit road, rather early, and they were able to use that to their advantage to leapfrog some of these other drivers. But some of them stayed out quite a bit longer, trying to maybe make this a one pit stop race where they're not going to have to come back down pit side for a second time here if we stay clean and green. As now you see our race leader Brandon Honeycutt is going to make that hard left hand turn down pit road here. So 75 laps into this race, we are over halfway through this race. We were looking at lap number 65 as the halfway marker, so over halfway through this race for that 13 ride to make his first green flag pit stop here. And we do see Dwayne Simons come down pit road as well, and that should round out our green flag pit stops here on the evening. Doug Roth, one of those drivers that came down a little bit early, he got that early advantage here on the Speedway, able to leapfrog a lot of those drivers up and in front of him, and right now he holds on the lead by over 2 seconds here, over 2.5 seconds between himself and Christian Delgado. But Delgado hunted him down in a quick hurry. That 13 ride currently running in position number 2 is quite a bit faster than what the race leader is. He's gaining almost a second a lap right now between himself and Doug Roth. Last time around was over 1 second of a difference. So those new tires to the old tires paying dividends right now for Christian Delgado, and that is going to let him run down our race leader rather quickly here. And Ira Cole is up there as well, currently in the 3rd spot. She's in about the same situation here. See with Grango Berry, and we do see William McKellar out there as well. McKellar's running some amazing lap times. Grango Berry still running 29-second lap times as well. So about 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th out there on the Speedway, and about our 8th place driver now, all running very fast lap times inside the 29-second bracket. Some of those drivers that came down a lot earlier are running outside the 30-second area. So we see Ira Colas and Doug Roth, 2 of those drivers that came down super early. They were giving up a lot of lap time here on the bottom half of this green flag run. So you see the 43, he's dropping like a rock, as our race leader, was our race leader here during some of these green flag pit stops. The 13 ride of Christian Delgado came down quite a bit later. He's going to make the move around the 43 at Doug Roth and retake this race lead away from that 43 ride. So a little bit of pitch strategy almost working out in favor of that 43 ride of Doug Roth, and he gets a caution flag anytime between now and falling back to about the 4th position. Then it'll pay off for him. But if he slides outside the top 4, top 5, he's actually going to be losing time. It's going to hurt him on the long run here now. So it's going to be interesting to see when he decides to come back down pit side, if he tries to make this a 3-stop race, as we have seen a lot of drivers stretch that fuel out, like Brandon Honeycutt, all the way to lap 74, 75 here on the Speedway, making it over halfway in this race before coming down pit road for the first time. He's got enough gas now. We know that he can make it to the end of this race, not have to come back down pit side. And he's got those fresh tires on right now. He's laying down some great lap times, and slowly but surely, he's going to be hunting down a lot of these drivers that are in front of him. So for Honeycutt, this is a big move and a big strategy game out of that 13 ride. We'll have to wait and see if he can use it to his advantage to potentially put himself up here into victory lane. As the other 13 out there on the racetrack is Christian Delgado. Delgado rolling there in the top spot. He's at the front of the field looking to continue to open up this lead. And there we go. Doug Roth, he is going to make that second second pit stop here. So he's going to come down pit side. Going to try to balance things out, head down pit road, get this fresh set of tires on. Now, the only thing is that he is going to fall probably a lap or so down, where he's going to be able to use those fresh tires, maybe get himself back onto the lead lap, maybe stay in the free pass position, hope for that caution flag, or hope to see this one cycle through and have the rest of the field make their way down pit side and not have them stay out there until the end. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly he can get back out there, as there goes our race leader, Christian Delgado, is going to put him a lap down. So he's got a lot of ground to make up for this strategy to work, but hey, you know what, sometimes you gotta take a swing at things, sometimes you gotta try to mix things up. We'll see Bryce Dickinson in the END Farms Papa Mike Promotions ride also head down pit side here for a second time as well. So couple different strategies out there on the Speedway. We'll have to wait and see how this one all plays out, as yeah, TV online, you're definitely gonna get deleted there. Let's just get rid of that one, as Aaron is the best in the business. I appreciate that, Mama Bear. I appreciate Mama Bear coming in, showing the love here. Aaron is the best in the business. I appreciate that. As Nelson Johns also says, what's up, Aaron, my favorite commentator? What's up, Nelson? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day, my dude. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened to Christopher DeWald. He came down pit road. He was down there for an extended period of time. I don't think it was due to penalty, because he was down there for at least 5, 6, 7 laps, maybe even 10 laps on the Speedway, and went down a lot of laps before he rolled back out. Maybe it was an emergency bathroom break or something, where he pulled down to his pit stall before going to the bathroom, but unfortunately he was looking like a promising ride to potentially pick up a checkered flag here on the evening, and now back in 14th and multiple laps down. We see Bryce Dickinson rolling out there, as well as Bryce says, happy to be here. Happy to be here, Bryce. We're happy to see you out there on the racetrack, brother. Whether or not you're at the front of the field or the back of the pack, it's always good to see you out there on the racetrack, running and supporting the END Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Sweet Tea Gang, Mama Bear, and Peacemaker Gaming number 84 ride out there on the racetrack. And maybe the strategy plays out your favor. Maybe the strategy works out here for you, as we do see the 3 ride of Ira Colas now head down pit side here as well. So varying strategies on the Speedway could really mix things up here late in this race, when we see drivers come down pit road or stay out a little bit later or anything else. It could really mix things up, really make things that much more intense here late in this race, as we see Christian Delgado continue to lead the way. Right now there is only 6 drivers left on the lead lap, as Dwayne Simons is the first car 1 lap down here in the Premier Racing Setups number 12 ride on the Speedway. So he's in that free pass position. If a caution flag were to fly, he could get that wave around back onto the lead lap. James Smith, Russell Martin Jr., Doug Roth would all be looking for those wave arounds to try to get back onto the lead lap here, as Leroy Koblenz down multiple laps here. Ira Colas and Bryce Dickinson down multiple laps, as well as that 82 of Christopher DeWald. I do believe DeWald is now, let me see here. He is 8 laps down on the Speedway right now, 8 laps down, something like that, 8, 9 laps down behind our race leader, where Bryce Dickinson, Ira Colas, and Leroy Koblenz are down 3 laps here, so they're going to need some pit cycle or something favorable to happen in their favor to try to either get them back onto the lead lap or get them a little closer here to potentially getting back onto a sync here with the rest of these drivers that are playing a whole different strategy game. And right now, Christian Delgado, you may have hit it right, as he's out in front, laying down some great lap time still, putting a lot of drivers back down a lap on the Speedway, and now he's got about a 14-second gap here between himself and Greg O'Barry. Barry 14 seconds back here behind him, just going down across the start finish line. Right there is down the Boeing back straightaway. You see that 13 right, so half a track ahead of a second place counterpart. Let's see if we can get a good look here at the track map and really see where these drivers are. So you see the bright green number 1 on the Speedway going down the start finish line into corner number 1. That is our race leader, Christian Delgado. You see the Let me see what color it is. I do believe it's the black number 2 ride. About to go past the red line right there. That's the start-finish line. That is our second-place drivers. Each number is a position for one of these drivers out there on the racetrack, and you can see the difference of times out there on the speedway. You see it up in the scoreboard as well, and how far back the rest of the field is from this 13 ride, as he's just running a absolutely picture-perfect race out here on the speedway, not making any mistakes, just hitting his marks, hitting everything perfectly, and potentially may see this 13 ride up in victory lane. John Fowler says, if I did not have bad luck, would have no luck at all. Yeah, brother, I feel you on that one right there, man. And that was some bad luck early in the race, just trying to get around a car that was very loose down and out of quarter number 2. Looked like he had it saved, and it kind of kicked back out and around on him, and unfortunately came right up the racetrack and right into your lap, my dude, and that took you out of this race early on, and no caution flag either really hurt you. But I mean, hey, so far we've been clean and green throughout this race here. We've done 92 laps of racing action without a caution flag here. I'm going to say that with grace, as we don't want to jinx ourselves, but down across the line, 92 will get clicked off the board, 93 up on the board here, so we're rolling towards 100 laps of green flag action here from Darlington Raceway, and I feel like that is an accomplishment in its own right there, to have, 14, 15, 16 drivers in there on the speedway. We did run into a few issues early in this race that I feel would have created a caution flag, as I do see my boy Bubba over there showing the love on the Twitch stream as well. What's good, Bubba? Bubba says, yo, let's go, Bubba, coming in, showing the love here in this one. How are you, brother? How are you, mister? How you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday. It's Mr. Fowler coming in with the like on the stream. Slingshot Sim Racing coming in with that share as well, coming in, sharing out the broadcast there on Facebook. I appreciate you guys coming in, showing the love. And my boy Johnny Thunder's coming in as well with the direct donation over on PayPal as well. Shout out there to my boy Johnny Thunder's coming in, showing the big love with that direct donation over there on the PayPal channel, man. That is absolutely insane. I appreciate that, my dude. I appreciate that, showing the big love here in this one. As out in front, the 13 ride continuing to lead the way. It's Complete Motorsports coming in with that share as well. As my boy, I see you're jumping into different venues, trying to change some things up. I see you doing the Complete Motorsports now, the complete graphics and everything else, brother. Good luck with all that. Hopefully nothing but the best for you and all those crazy things, man. I thought for the longest time you were going to stay Dirty Monkey Motorsports, but changing things up, going with the Complete Motorsports. I like it. I'm not going to lie. I like it, brother, and I see you doing some good work in there, working on the graphics and everything else, man, making some cool photos and stuff, dude. Hell yeah, brother. Out in front, the 13 ride, Christian Delgado continuing to lead the way here. He has not settled down one little bit out there on the speedway, as that race lead now out to over 17 seconds between himself and now Johnny Barker. Is Barker up into position number 2. William McKellar now in third, as Grango Berry slides back to position number 4. There you see Brandon Honeycutt trying to hunt them down, as well as our second, third, fourth, and fifth place driver, all within pretty good distance of each other. Even the 25 ride of Brandon Ian right there, as well as Ish there in that 6th position on the speedway. They're kind of all within 4 seconds of each other here on the racetrack. Not a huge gap between them here. But out in front with a huge gap is Christian Delgado. Delgado continuing to just pull away more and more and more, lap after lap after lap, as we see a lot of these drivers here throughout our top 5 starting to fall off. Those tires are starting to become a little bit worse and a little bit worse. We see the 71 of Grango Berry just ran a 31-second lap time. We see McKellar into the 30-60s. Johnny Baker is in those 30-35s, where our race leader is running a 30-15, and that's what he needs to continuously keep stretching that lead out. We did see Brandon Honeycutt make a extremely late pit stop. Honeycutt's actually able to start reeling in these guys here, and we saw him use this strategy to what could potentially put him into a good position here on the evening, as he rolls around Grango Berry. He was one of the final drivers to come down pit road. He's running some great lap times out there right now, looking very good. As John says, thanks, bro. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. As Brian says, okay, enough for me. Enough for me, he says. He ran his 100 laps. Brian, you were so close to being done, though. You're 100 laps in. You only have 30 more laps left to go, brother. What in the world? What in the world are you doing? You could have ran those 30 laps, my dude. You could have ran them. You could have ran them. As Brian's down pit road here once again, we do see Leroy Koblenz coming down pit side as well. Christopher DeWald, who looked to be one of those drivers to beat here early in this race, unfortunately going down pit side for an extended period of time, now finds himself multiple laps down here as Brian says, I broke my right front bouncing off the wall. Oh no! Ricey Bear, you know these walls don't move, right? You know they don't move. You're not supposed to hit the walls. I know they're there. They look like fun. Trying to pull a Ross Chastain or something there. Just pin it to the floor and just use that wall to hold your momentum and glide around the outside of the speedway. Unfortunately, the walls, they don't do that. They just absorb the hit for the most part. And they cause a lot of damage, brother. You're not supposed to hit them. You're not supposed to hit them. You're supposed to leave those fences alone out there, brother. Okay, come on now. Come on now, Ricey Bear. Is out in front, Christian Delgado continuing to lead the way as Price says, this track is tricky for me. Was hoping it was like a bumper in bowling. Yeah, I know, right? Hey, that's what we all wish. That's what we all wish for, you know, just kind of keep it in between the walls and just let it kind of guide wherever you need to go. That's what we were hoping for. That's what we all hope for. Unfortunately, they don't budge. They do not budge. Here you go. You see some of these drivers start to make some passes on Christian Delgado. That car's starting to fall off ever so slightly as right now the quickest cars on the racetrack are drivers that came down for a second set of pit stops. That's Doug Roth back in 8th. Russell Martin Jr. running in the 29th second rank as well. Early in the 9th spot. Ira Colas running just inside the 29th second area. Currently scored in the 10th position. Able to just drive around our race leader. You also see the 12 ride of Dwayne Simons trying to work himself back onto the lead lap here, trying to get around that number 13. If we do see a car in black, he not only wanted to be in that free pass spot, but if he can get himself back onto the lead lap, could potentially help him out even more. As out in front, Christian Delgado continue to lead the way here by about 18 and a half seconds, almost 19 seconds between himself and Johnny Barker. Is Barker back there in position number 2. He now has that 13 right of Brandon Honeycutt in his rearview mirror. Honeycutt's been driving back through the field here. We saw him stay out later, came down pit side around lap 75 here, where we saw even the drivers that we thought were coming down later in this race, like Christian Delgado around lap 65, and some of these other drivers that came down just before Delgado. We thought, you know, that was a late run, trying to make it maybe a 2-stop race here. But Brandon Honeycutt made it even farther than that. Then came down pit side and able to use these fresh tires to a huge advantage between himself and everybody else, and that's put him back up inside the top 3 here on this run. And he's trying to track down our second place driver, the Wolfpack Racing number 5 ride of Johnny Barker, right there in position number 2, trying to hang on to that second spot. They're still about 18 seconds back of our race leader, Christian Delgado, but Delgado can kind of just throw it into cruise control right now at this point. He can throw it kind of into cruise control, just kind of glide that car around the speedway, keep it out of trouble, and then just kind of guide himself here into victory lane as he's got 24, about to be 23 laps of racing action left to go here this evening. And he's got about an 18-second gap to work with. So as long as he doesn't give up more than, you know, virtually a second a lap, you can kind of keep that gap growing or keep it kind of right around the same and just manage that gap, not push the car too hard here, save the equipment, save the tires on this thing for late in the race where the drivers that are back there behind him are racing hard. They're using up their equipment. He can take it easy and save some equipment for late in this race where if they do catch him, he can probably just pull right away from him and keep him back there behind him without any risk at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out as we get closer and closer to our checkered flag. We're going to jump into another very quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. the laps continue to click down here. Give it up for these drivers as a beautiful crank it up session right there as the 13 ride of Christian Delgado continues to lead the way. Delgado out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done as our crank it up going to come to a close, and we get closer and closer to our checkered flag. As down through corner number 3 and at a corner number 4, we see 11 more laps left to go here. Almost thought it was 4 laps left to go. It's 11 laps left to go for the 13 ride to be able to pick up the checkered flag here on the evening in what has been a fairly dominant race so far. He's out in front. 16 seconds is the gap here. So 16 seconds from our race leader back to our second place driver Johnny Barker and our third place driver Brandon Honeycutt, as Honeycutt rolls there in the 3rd position. Kind of stalled out here, drove up through the field, got up to this 5 ride, and then it's kind of just stalled out right here behind him. Hasn't been able to make up that gap to really put the pressure on the back bumper of the 5 machines. They've been running strong right there in that 2nd and 3rd position. Brandon Ian there in position number 4. Ian there in that 4th spot on the Speedway as Brandon Ish trying to work himself towards our top 3 here on the Speedway. He's got about 10 seconds between himself and our top 2, about 26 seconds between himself and our race leader. He's one of those drivers, and of all the drivers, I think, except for Christian Delgado, that would love to see a caution flag right now. We do see Dwayne Simons able to work himself up inside the top 5 now as the 75 of Willie McKellar slides back to the 6th position. Grango Berry there in 7th with Doug Roth in position number 8. Russell Martin Jr. rolling there in 9th with Ira Colas, our top 10 here on the Speedway. James Smith back in the 11th spot with Leroy Koblenz, Christopher DeWald, Bryce Dickinson, Isaac Mock, Andrew Hainsley, Cliff Adams, John Fowler rounding out our field here with 18 competitors that started this feature event. So Christian Delgado slowly but surely inching towards this checkered flag, just hoping to see the white flag fly here any moment now, hoping to see that checkered flag fly here as he's still got over a 15-second lead over Johnny Barker and Brandon Honeycutt. He's on cruise control, trying to bring this car home in one piece, trying to bring it home in victory lane, and he's got 7 more laps left to go, and he is looking very, very good. The only thing I think that could really kill his chances right now is making a huge mistake, whether it's, running out of fuel or getting into an outside wall causing huge tire damage, or seeing that caution flag fly are the only 3 ways I think that 13 ride loses this feature event here this evening. If we stay clean and green, he stays out of trouble, keeps that car in one piece. I think he's going to be able to just cruise home here to a big win. All he's got to do is just mind the gap and not do that too much. You can get up there and get your Darlington stripes, but you don't want to get up and bounce off the wall as the 71 of Grango Berry's going to pull over, let the 13 ride go by. A great veteran move there out of Grango Berry, just allowing him to kind of roll around him, not make those mistakes or not get into his way, and down across the line. We'll see 5 more laps left to go here. 5 more laps for our race leader, Christian Delgado. Now we see the checker flag fly here at the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. As Christian Delgado out in front, Brandon Honeycutt now up into 2nd as he finally made the move around Johnny Barker. Barker slides back to 3rd here, so Barker there in 3rd, and we see Dwayne Simons trying to run him down, trying to hunt him down. Unfortunately, there is a huge gap between our 3rd and 4th place competitors on this Speedway as well. There's about 11 seconds between Johnny Barker and this 4th place driver, Dwayne Simons. So Simons back here in position number 4 and looking for more now as the 25 ride of Brandon Ishkanian there behind him in that 5th position. So a lot of the newcomers showing up and showing out here this evening. Barker, Simons, and Ishkanian are all drivers for the first time racing in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series Cup Series race here this evening as Christian Delgado is putting a whooping on everybody. Those guys are doing a great job up inside the top 5. Brandon Honeycutt, not a first-time comer here in the series, having a great race in position number 2. But for a little while, maybe the strategy would work and maybe put him into victory lane. Maybe if there was 10, 15, maybe 20 more laps, it could potentially be the winning move here, winning as long as he did before coming down pit side. But I think he waited just a little bit too long here, and he finds himself currently rolling here in second, about 15 seconds between himself and our race leader, Christian Delgado. And Delgado just on cruise control with only 2 more laps left to go as he heads down the Boeing back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy down through 3 and out of 4. He's hoping to see no yellow flags, no cautions from here to the start finish line. As down at a corner number 4 and down the front straightaway, he will see that white flag fly. So the next flag will end it no matter what, as the 13 of Christian Delgado leads us for the final time into corner number 1 and out of corner number 2. He'll take us out of that second corner and down the Boeing back straightaway after scrubbing the outside fence. The pressure maybe getting to him, but he's still got that huge lead advantage that even if he makes simple mistakes like that, he can just roll to the start finish line and pick up the win. It's down through 3 and out of corner number 4 for the final time here this evening. It's the 13 ride, the SimMotion.com number 13 of Christian Delgado, who's gonna go home in victory lane at the Lady in Black. The track that's too tough to tame is not too tough for the 13 of Christian Delgado here this evening, as he'll pick up back-to-back wins here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia, and he'll pull his 13 ride up here into victory lane after a great run and a great drive here all evening long. Perfect strategy, able to put himself up here into victory lane. Coming home in position number 2 was that 19, the other 13 rider, Brandon Honeycutt. Johnny Barker coming home in 3rd. Dwayne Simons there in 4th. Brandon Ishkanian coming home there in 5th with William McKellar. Rango Berry, Russell Martin Jr., Doug Roth, and Ira Colas rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the 13 ride of Christian Delgado as he picks up the win and pulls this 13 ride up into victory lane here in South Carolina, Darlington Raceway here this evening. The track that's too tough to tame, definitely not too tough here this evening for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series drivers as we go clean and green. 0 caution flags on the evening. 130 laps of green flag racing action. Absolutely amazing feat here done by these drivers, put on one hell of a show here this evening. Huge congratulations to each and every one of these drivers, putting on a heck of a show like that for us here this evening, man. We are going to get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth as Christian Delgado be waiting patiently down pit side. We'll get ready to pull him up into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. As, man, what a run, what a race, what a drive here all evening long for these drivers, for these competitors. We'll get ready to pull our race winner up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here at the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
I got you, man.
Christian, man, what a run, what a win here this evening for you. As this is Darlington Raceway, normally known as the track that's too tough to tame, but you're able to tame the dragon here, the Lady in Black, this evening, and pull yourself up into victory lane, man. Take us through this race after 130 laps of non-stop green flag racing, man. Take us through it and all the work you had to do on the racetrack to give yourself that advantage to be able to put yourself into cruise control and into victory lane.
Yeah, that was a long one, Aaron. I'm not gonna lie. This was probably one of the more tough ones we've done here in the SSR Cup Series. But yeah, I felt like we had a good car. I always like coming here to Darlington, especially at night. Fortunately, not the best quality effort, but you know, there was a couple of mishaps at I would say the first 15-ish laps of the race where people, you know, losing it on the cold tires and stuff, and allowed us to get up to around like 4th or 5th, and then I felt like I was content just riding there, just kind of saving my stuff, and then I just eventually everybody just kind of fell back to me. You know, I got around the 43 of Doug, and then McKellar came back to us, and then the 82, I believe it was, came back to us slowly but surely, and then after that, I knew that I wanted to split the race in half. I felt like that was the best way to do it. If you could save your tires, I felt like just one pit stop would have been fine. I saw a couple guys try to split in the three, and just looking at the times, it just seemed like there wasn't enough tire fall off to negotiate another stop there. But yeah, after we got the lead and kind of just never looked back, just kind of set it on cruise control. I don't know if I was a little bit better in pit stops, but I was surprised that, I came out with like a 17, 18, 19-second gap there. But after that, I kind of knew that all I needed to do was just bring the car home after, that lap 65 pit stop there. And yeah, that's exactly what we did. I'm interested to go back and watch the broadcast. Looked like a really good battle for that P2 spot. But yeah, a really good run for me. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough to clinch that regular season championship, but glad that we can bring this kind of speed here to Darlington.
Absolutely, definitely a ton of speed, definitely a great way to kind of get yourself ready for the playoffs here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, and starting off the playoffs on a high note, and starting off with a win here after the regular season coming to a close and being so close to that points championship. Now I don't know if it's structured just like the NASCAR series. I know they talk a lot about how the regular season points champion gets that 15-point bonus, but second also gets a 10-point bonus. I do believe it goes from 1 point down after that for the top 10 in real-life NASCAR as well. So I'm not sure if there's extra bonus points there for you or not for still having a very, very solid, regular season run here, picking up a lot of great wins, a lot of top 3 finishes here on the season. Still might be able to give you that extra little bit of an edge here going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the second place getting points here. And to be honest, I didn't even know that second place got points until watching that Darlington race. So last week,
That's exactly where I saw it too. I never knew that they gave out other bonus points until this week in the NASCAR race at Darlington, and they showed how they structure it, because I was wondering how Larson and some of these guys, when they didn't win the championship, earned extra bonus points as well. So it comes down to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th in the regular season points championship, still being able to earn those extra bonus points.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. That's going to be up to John and Russ and all those guys there. But obviously, I I wouldn't mind them. But obviously, I completely understand if it's already structured to where first place gets it. But yeah, I mean, definitely a great way to start the playoffs. Like you said, Darlington, one of my favorite tracks. John not being able to race because he's up here running the league and stuff really gave me an opportunity to be competitive here, because John's really always been a little bit quicker than me here, but fortunately not being able to race tonight, but doing his work. But yeah, gotta love it for the guys, and sucks for my teammate Leroy, who qualified P2. Just unfortunately got caught up in something, and not gonna get the finish I think he deserves, but also a good run for him, I feel like.
Absolutely. Still being able to finish this race, never giving up out there. We saw him come down pit side a couple times. They're trying to get some damage repaired and trying to get that car back into, perfect racing condition. Just unfortunately wasn't able to rebound from those couple trips down pit side, but you're able to make it down here one time down pit road. You're able to hit your marks, not get caught speeding, not have any of those pit road penalties that come back to bite a lot of drivers in the butt here at Darlington Raceway, and you're able to put yourself up here into victory lane after, the final 30, 40 laps of this race, kind of just setting it on cruise control, trying to keep yourself out of trouble, trying to minimize your Darlington stripes here on the evening, and you're able to keep it all together and pick up the checkered flag. But going through these final laps, we're getting a little bit nervous knowing that, 120 laps, 130 laps, green flag racing. We normally don't see that here on iRacing in a lot of leagues, especially this league. We haven't really seen that many good green flag laps put together and strung out through one single race. So we're getting a little nervous of maybe a caution flag coming up here and making it really have to work for this win.
Yeah, I felt like there was potentially a possibility. I saw Brandon and Johnny were kind of neck and neck there, and I know, a P2 spot's nothing to complain about, really. I mean, everybody in here really wants to do the best they can here, and I thought, hopefully those two don't get at it. I know when I was trying to pass Christopher at the beginning of the race here, I kind of put myself in a bad spot and tried to pass him on the outside, and we doored a little bit and ended up, slowing us both down. So I was like, oh man, hopefully they don't get into it. But the lapper is really cordial, letting me by. So shout out to them for, you know, uh, being respectful and everything. I feel like that's always been something that's been the same throughout the season. But yeah, I felt like everybody was spread out enough that I wasn't too worried of looking at the results. It was 14, like first and second were pretty close, but everybody else was pretty spread apart.
Absolutely. Pretty spread apart out there on the speedway. Lots of room for drivers to navigate around each other and around some of the slower traffic on the speedway. As you said, they're being very cordial and, kind of moving around, moving out of the way there. We saw even Grango Barry there late in the race, kind of just move down the racetrack, let you go by. I'm not really trying to, mess up your race, mess up your timing or anything, or have something happen where it hurts your opportunity of picking up the win here this evening. So a good veteran move there by a lot of these drivers to allow you that extra little room out there on the speedway as you drive home this simmotion.com number 13 right into victory lane. Christian, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here on the evening?
Well, first of all, this really does go out to the Sim guys. I know it seems like every time I've won here, it's always with they're not on the car. At the beginning of the season, we had the Wildman schemes on, and at Michigan, I had the high velocity paint on. So this one really goes out to the Sim guys, and shout out to them for doing everything they do for our team and for our little group of guys there. So go check out simmotion.com. Use code 802 for I think 5% off your order. Super cool group of guys. But lastly, got to give a shout out to my teammate Leroy, all the guys over at SimMotion. John Ross, Leroy, Jackson, everybody that is coming up on board and doing everything. I have to give a huge shout out to my sponsors: Track Racer, High Velocity TV, Steel Card Detailing, Bully Coffee Company, Butt Kicker, and especially got to thank the people over at twitch.tv/ChristianPost13. Fortunately, I haven't been having some internet issues, so I haven't been able to consistently stream and everything, but I know they'll be happy to see that we came out here and had a good finish. But lastly, got to give a huge shout out to the Bean team. Thank you, Peter, Jeff, Sully, Poppy, Jackson, everybody over there who encourages me to do my best here. And lastly, got to give a huge shout out to John Ross and Ron and Russ and everybody over here who's running this thing behind the scenes. I know they're working their butt off behind the scenes, making sure everything's going to plan and everything else. And also got to give a huge props and shout out to you, Aaron, doing a fantastic job coming back in and doing these broadcasts every week, not only for the Cup Series but for the 7 races in the Truck Series. So. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast and maybe take some notes for next week.
Absolutely, brother. That's always the game plan. Always a possibility. I know a lot of drivers that come back and rewatch the broadcast, not only to support the channel or to see what they were doing out there on the racetrack, but you can really learn a lot here. And I've seen a lot of guys they've talked to have taken notes or learning what other drivers are doing to try to figure something out for themselves. You can watch these other guys run different lines, find different grooves or different pitch strategies that maybe they didn't think of that other guys were trying, that they can kind of put into their memory bank to see if that can help them out in the future here, as it's never a bad idea to go back and see where you're doing good or maybe doing bad, but also seeing where other drivers might be better than you out there on the speedway and how you can attack different racetracks a little bit better the next time we head here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I'm someone who really likes to study film as like a football guy. I always like to go in and study film and make sure that I'm as prepared as I can be. I'm not someone who really likes to go out and do a bunch of practice laps. So as long as I can, have a reference point to look off of, I'll take advantage of it. And luckily we have a good broadcaster like you who shows a lot of the drivers that and can really show me maybe some different lines. I'm not a big guy that runs the wall here at out of 3 and 4 here and at Darlington just because I'm not very good at it. So maybe I can put that in the notebook to learn. But yeah, definitely appreciate everything you're doing with the broadcast. I know it's a lot of work to just get everything put together. But yeah, can't wait for next week. Hopefully we can take this momentum into the playoffs and maybe knock off a couple more wins.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see how the playoffs work out for you, and hopefully we'll see you up here for many more trips into the broadcast booth before the end of this season.
Yep. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations again on picking up the win here at Darlington.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Have a good rest of the night.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Christian Boss. As Christian parks that number 13 right up here in victory lane, we'll get ready to, I was going to say pull in our second place finisher, but Brandon Honeycutt, I don't think is in the Discord here. So unfortunately, we will not hear from the number 13 ride, the other 13 ride, Brandon Honeycutt here this evening, as he is not up here in the broadcast booth. Well, we do have our third place finisher, Johnny Barker, up here in the booth. So we will pull our third place driver up here into the post-race interview. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Johnny Barker. Hey, Johnny, it's Aaron up here at the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I gotcha.
Johnny, man, a great run and a great race here for you tonight as you're able to bring it home in position number 3 here on the Speedway, man. Take us back through this one. Some of those pit strategy calls and then battling here late in the race. Work yourself around some of the drivers that were trying to short pit this race or maybe make it a 2 pit stop style of a race. And all of a sudden, you know, you're able to work yourself up into position number 2. You're trying to close that huge gap up to Christian Delgado. Then Brandon Honeycutt on the same kind of strategy as you and the 13. But coming down pit side a lot later, having a little extra tire there, able to find some extra speed. He's working your back bumper for a lot of laps and finally able to make the move to get around you and steal that second position away from you, man. But you got to be pretty happy with a solid top 3, man. Take us back through this one and how it all happened.
Oh, this is by far my worst track. So to come home third, I'm tickled to death. Yeah, I messed up. Trying to miss pit road, that cost me a lot, and when I got back out, I basically just started back overdriving it again, trying to get back up there, and got back to second, and by that time I done hurt my tires a little bit, so started just trying to ride, and when he started gaining on me, I knew when he got to me I wasn't going to put up too much of a fight. I done burnt my tires up.
Absolutely, tires are such a huge thing here at Darlington, making it a very difficult race if your tires are falling off and the drivers around you have those little bit fresher tires where they can find that extra grip, throw that car in there a little bit deeper. You kind of got to pack your corners up a lot more on these older burnt out tires, but you're able to do a great job of it still here, battling for that second spot throughout the finish of this race and still reeling and catching up with our race leader Christian Delgado, but came out of the pits there with such a huge lead, such an advantage here on the rest of the field that behind a caution flag, I don't know if anyone was going to even get close to hunting him down here in this race.
No, I don't think so neither. Right before he pitted, I was watching the relatives, and he'd be faster than me one lap, I'd be faster than him the next. So it was kind of staying even, and like I said, once I missed that pit, I knew it was over from there.
Absolutely, but a late race caution flag could have changed the whole entire outcome of this race. If we were to see a yellow flag, I'm assuming everybody was going to come down pit side to get a fresh set of tires under their car. Do you think, starting up towards the top 3, top 2 here late in this race, that maybe with that fresh set of tires in the track position that you might have been able to figure out a way to beat that 13 right here tonight?
I really don't know. Like I said, I normally struggle with this track. And I practiced a lot this week and finally figured out how to save some tires. And so I think I was really better on the long run than what I was on fresh tires. So I don't know. I'd have liked the scene, but hey, I'm happy with third.
Absolutely. Still a very solid run, a very solid performance here for you tonight in that 5 ride. Johnny, who would you like to thank for such a great performance here at Darlington Raceway?
I'd like to thank John Ross for, this was my first race with here. I've been running the Xfinity since they started it, so definitely give a shout out to him for giving me the chance to run with y'all. Thank you for broadcasting, and ready to kick back and watch the broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy all the racing action out there on the Speedway. As we really enjoyed it up here in the booth, watching you guys duke it out and battle there on the Speedway, and watching you drive that number 5 right up here into position number 3. A solid podium run in your first race here with the Slingshot Sim Racing League, and hopefully we'll see you in here for more and more of these races and more trips up here into the broadcast booth here before the end of the season.
Yes, sir. I look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the 3rd place run.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Johnny Barker as he comes home there in position number 3. A great run, a solid performance there for that number 5 ride as he was tied for the hard charger here. Him and Dwayne Simons coming home here 12 positions up on the Speedway. So the 5 ride of Johnny Barker started all the way back in 15th. He gains 12 positions to come home inside the top 3, and Dwayne Simons, start all the way back in 16th, brings it home in 4th. Also have 12 spots, so both hard chargers here on the evening. They're in 3rd and 4th, and then a couple other drivers inside the top 10, up 10 positions. We see Russell Martin Jr. back there in the 8th position, started at 18th, came home up 10 positions to round out our top 8 on the Speedway, and then our 2nd place driver, Brandon Honeycutt, also up 10 positions from where he started on the evening. So some big movers out there on the evening means that there were some big losers out there as well. Drivers that unfortunately started off the day very good and then all of a sudden saw that kind of crumble here before their eyes. As you look back through, we see, Cliff Adams down 14 positions, Christopher DeWall down 12, Leroy Copeland's down 10 spots there on the racetrack. So some big movers towards the front of the field, a lot of big losers going to the back of the pack here in this one, and unfortunately some tough breaks for those drivers, but some good breaks for the other ones. As unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here on the evening. We got one more thing left to go as we got the Butt Crack Motorsports random number generator coming right at you here as Butt Crack Motorsports putting on a little bit of extra money here for these drivers to earn race after race after race. And we had 18 drivers take the green flag here this evening, meaning we will randomly choose a number here with the random number generator. Let's see if we can get that up here into the picture frame. There we go. Let's pull this up here so you guys can get a good look at the random number here on the screen. So we're going to click it a whole bunch of times, kind of just getting a random number generated here, a random, just totally random number, but we're going to kind of get refreshed here, kind of get things a little bit more, balanced out, a little bit random here. And then what we're going to do is stop it. We'll tell you when we're going to click it for the winning number, and then the next winning number will be the corresponding finishing position. So whichever number it lands on is the finishing position that wins the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway here this evening. In that corresponding finishing position, the driver that's there earns themselves an extra payday, brought to you by Butt Crack Motorsports. So we're going to click it a whole bunch of times so you kind of get it kind of refreshed. We're going to stop it right there. Great spot to stop at number 1 here, and that means that unfortunately, we may not see it come back to number 1. So as much as Christian Delgado enjoyed winning the race, I'm sure he's not going to mind losing out here on the Butt Crack Motorsports thing. So we're going to generate it here. The next time we click it, the random number will be the finishing position of our race winner here this evening, and it's 3. Number 3. My gosh, a good day here for Johnny Barker as he's going to end up winning the Butt Crack Motorsports giveaway here as well. A good first race to come into. First race, first win here with the Butt Crack Motorsports. You can't make it up here, as that's going to definitely brighten Johnny's day a little bit more, as I know he wanted to come home in position number 2. Was pretty happy there with 3rd in his first race here with the Slingshot Sim Racing League, presented to you by Race City Racing Memorabilia, but I'm sure he'll take this extra little win here afterwards here from Butt Crack Motorsports as well. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately that's going to do it here for us on the evening. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, everyone coming in and showing the love here all night long with the likes, the comments, and the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Any of the new followers, any of the new subscribers, welcome to the Peacemaker family, welcome to the Peacemaker crew. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys do me those favors right there. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow or subscribe button, and turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be back in action potentially tomorrow night for something. I don't know what. We don't have anything planned yet for tomorrow night. We may end up taking the night off, as we don't get too many of those, but we may take tomorrow evening off and maybe put on something, maybe put on a broadcast. We may be playing some other video games, some different things with a couple buddies. We may stream that, so could potentially have something fun to do in the afternoon that's not iRacing, just something totally different. I think it's, I'm not even sure what it was called. I think it was like Among Us or something like that, but it's not Among Us. It's a different game that's kind of like it that we might dabble in there with a few of our buddies from back in the past and jump in with them, have some fun, have some laughs, maybe a couple drinks, and enjoy the Thursday night festivities here on Peacemaker Gaming. But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here this evening, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, baby.
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Roll your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Roll your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome